So let me see what I got next. Okay. Oh yeah, so why do you need an integrator? I think I might have convinced you why you need an integrator by now. You can't do it alone. Up to this point, you've done it alone, you've built out a bit of a team, but now you kind of need someone to help shoulder some of that responsibility, someone to help get you. And unless you have a partner, like maybe it's your life partner or a business partner that really gets you, you need someone else. Because it's hard all by yourself as the business owner, as the dreamer, to try and carry that dream to fruition all on your own. So you can't do it alone. And I really love analogies, so I hope you guys will just let me have this moment. So I oftentimes will think of a business owner as being like the captain of a ship, right? And you know what captains are supposed to do? They're at the helm, they got the big wheel, and they're like looking for land and treasure, right? They're up there on the wheel. And an integrator is like the quartermaster, which is the dude that does everything else, right, on the ship, basically. So I had to look up what quartermaster was, by the way, so in case anyone was wondering. So you imagine if we're on the ocean, and it's like, you got your, captain up there, and they're looking for land, there's seagulls out there, and everyone's like, woo! And then there's all of a sudden, there's water coming in under the ship. We're going down, right? Oh my goodness. So quartermaster's like rallying everybody in. Get down there, let's start bailing out the water. Let's fix the hole, right? And we're all down there, we're all getting stuff out. Quartermaster's making sure everything's going on. We look and we go, Captain, what are you doing down here? Who's steering the ship? That is what you guys will do. If you're not doing what you're supposed to and being a captain of your ship and you start messing with the quartermaster, okay? Who's driving here? You have to stay at the helm of what you are meant to do as a business owner. You need to be at the front of the ship, watching for land, watching for treasure. Let your quartermaster, your integrator, do what they were meant to do. Now, how many of you think that you could do that? It's a very honest room. A couple of you up here. That means you need to let go, right? You have to let go. There's a certain point, if you want to grow your business, seriously want to grow your business, you have to let go. If you don't, your business will stay pretty much the way it is and maybe creep along a little bit by little bit and get better a little bit by little bit. Okay, thank you for being so loving about my analogy there. So the next thing is expectations. So I have talked up Integrator really, really a lot at this point, and rightly so, because an integrator is a really important part of your business, just like you are. But there are some expectations. I think David mentioned before, there's going to be bumps and steps and things that don't go right. An integrator isn't always going to get it right. They're going to get it right a lot of the time, but they're not always going to get it right. There are going to be bumps along the way that you have to be realistic about too, which is your death grip on your business, right? And this is something that Dave and I go through still tussling about. There's things that he just can't let go of. Melissa, do it, but he won't let it go. You've got to get to a point where you release it and let your integrator do what they were meant to do. So your expectations of yourself, it's very important that you set that now, before you get an integrator or before you put this into place, because there's nothing worse than someone telling you, I want your help, but don't do it. Right? That's basically what that does. And you don't want that to happen. As then the integrator will go somewhere else. Because guess what? They're not that easy to find unless you nurture them and you support them and you give them a place to grow and give them that trust. So, how many of you can probably have guessed I'm an integrator? How many of you guessed that Dave's the business owner, the visionary? I'd like to just explain a little bit about those terms. Has anyone heard the term integrator? A couple of you maybe? And visionary. Visionary is probably a lot more because they get all the glory. I just want to explain this so you understand in terms that will matter to your business. So as I said before, business owner is a visionary. You guys have the dreams. If it weren't for you, we wouldn't have cochlear ear plants. We wouldn't have, all of the advancements that we have in technology, the great ideas, the fun, the excitement. We wouldn't have it, right? But if it weren't for the integrators, we'd have lead balloons, an Uber kangaroo, and saddles for dolphins, all right? There's a reason why there has to be a balance. The balance is because you guys are big dreamers. Big dreamers. But out of your 100 dreams, 99 are going to be crap. or they're not going to work right now, right? An integrator helps you filter through all of that. So a visionary is, yeah, you get that now, right? Good, okay. Integrator is the one that just helps that filtration bit. And why it's important for having an integrator with systems is because there are components of anything life-changing, anything that's going to change your business, you have to have a way to segue to it. So in a book called Rocket Fuel, which I actually didn't know anything about until really recently when Dave was like, Melissa, I got this book. I've been doing business with Dave on some level or another since about 2003, something like that, so a long time. We have always had this dynamic, him and I. He would be like, he used to have we had an office together once, and he had a desk, and it had all these little tiny ripped up bits of paper with all his ideas on it. And like if a big gust of wind came in the office, all his ideas were gone, right? It was like, phew. And I was always the one that was like working things out. And if he ever said, hey, I've got an idea, I was like, no! It's like, not another idea, right? I didn't realize there were terms for this relationship. So when Dave he was like, listen, you've got to read this book. It's like reading the history of Dave and Melissa. And I was like, you were kidding me. So I got the book Rocket Fuel, and I read it, and I was like, oh my God, do yourselves a favor and get that book. Now, this is not like, we don't get any kickback for that or anything like that. But in all honesty, it'll really help you define who you are as a business owner and see how important this integrator piece is for you. And it was fantastic reading about it. We'll have a little bit more fun with the Dave and Melissa visionary integrator tussle a little bit later. Yeah, I just thought, everyone clear on the definitions and the differences? Yeah, thought you would be. Awesome. Okay, so now that we've talked about personalities, we understand you're likely the visionary and you need an integrator, or you need to pull out the integrator in your team. It's time to get the buy-in. And that's basically you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink, right? So you can systemize, but you can't always make people follow your systems, right? How many of you have this problem? Yeah, they're there, right? They're pretty. It's really clear. Why didn't you follow it, right? You need to get buy-in, that's why. So for me, there's a couple of levels of buy-in. And it doesn't matter if you're a small business or if you're a big business. There's always going to be two levels of buy-in. You're going to have a senior team or executive team, and you're going to have your wider team. For me, depending on how big your business is, will depend on what level you need to go to. So maybe you're a smaller business, and it's just you and your integrator, you and your ops manager or whatnot, and then you have some wider team. You would be the senior level. The wider team, of course, is the wider team. So it's important that you, as the business owner, deal with your integrator. This is my dream. This is where I want to go. Your integrator is then going to go to the senior team and go, hey, we're all heading in this direction now. They're going to communicate because they listened. Remember those traits before? They listened. They clarified. They tell the senior team, this is where we're headed. Senior team, you need to now dispatch that to the wider team. Or your integrator can do it as well, but it depends on the size of your business. So there's two levels of buy-in. So you have to just think about that. You can't necessarily, if you got 500 people, it'd be really hard for your integrator to go around and talk to every 500, right? So you just have to think about how you're going to actually formulate that and get it out. So yeah, that makes sense, right? But so you've led them to water, but they're still not drinking. So how do you get them thirsty? Well, we're going to go back to personalities. The thing that we cannot escape from because your business is made of people. We're going to go back to personality. So the first thing we have to do to get people thirsty, you have to explain to them, well, first off, let me go back a step. You don't explain. First off, what you need to do is you have to understand the personalities. So we all got that clear. Once you understand the personalities, then you need to think about it in context of their role. Salesperson, accounts, marketing, admin. And when you think of that, you need to think about what are the pain points in that role. How many of you have ever heard, I've got so much to do. I've got too much to do. I'm stressed. I don't have enough time. I don't know how to do that. I don't have time to learn. You have to think about the pain points. That's what those are, pain points, right? When you identify the pain points, then what you do is you think, well, and this isn't a lie. This isn't about leading them down the garden path, right? This is about actually going, well, you know what? This process is actually going to benefit you. And you don't come in and go, hi, I'm an integrator. You're going to love systems. It's going to get rid of your pain points. You don't do it like that. You have somebody that's actually like, hey, I'm really stressed out. Every time I go on a holiday, I come back to 6,000 emails, and you've done it all wrong. You know you're supposed to put it in pile A and not pile B, but how come everything's in pile B? And you come in and go, hey, listen, we're going to do this thing. We're just going to trial it. And I have a lot of confidence in you because I think that you're really good at what you do. And if we can get this to happen, the rest of the team might actually learn from you, right? We're going to get it to where there's systems in place where when you go away, you're not going to get the thousands of emails. And then what's going to happen is we're all going to know about pile B, right? We're not going to put in pile A because it's going to get documented. And you can train someone. You can maybe teach someone, impart your knowledge to that person. And all of a sudden that team member is going, oh, okay, all right, I might get, the systems might not be all that bad, right? You're going to start releasing the pain points because that's the only reason they're going to be resisting at this point. They have pain points. So that's the individual level. And then, of course, there's other business benefits. There's, of course, you're going to have a smoother operations when you have them buying in. With some of the traits too, I think you have to think about people's emotions as well. I mean, you obviously have people who are, they're scared. If you systemize, I'm going to be like the checkout chick who's not going to have a job because they have all of those automated things, you know, and then you're not going to need me. So some people are actually afraid to go through this process because they don't want to systemize themselves out of a job. So you've got to remove that pain point. You've got to go, the whole reason why we're doing this is actually so we can define your role, right? And then once we define your role, you can grow. Because if I don't know what you do, I don't know what you can do. I don't know where you can go. I can't see your strengths. So it's really important. Yeah, so we've got definitely business benefits of team efficiency, teamwork. So once you have an individual who releases the pain points, they know they're not going to get systemized out of a job. They're not afraid that that's what's going to happen. And they have less workload. They've got less stress. Not less workload as they're doing less, but less workload as in they can manage themselves better because it's all systemized. There are people that can help. They've delegated more things to other people. Then what can happen is the business benefits from it. And for those who care, because not every employee you employ is going to give a you-know-what about where your business is going to go. They're only there because they want a paycheck, right? You're going to have people like that, and that's okay. We got room for them. That's all right. But your business will benefit. Better team flow, right? Better communication, better output. So when you get the individual, you understand the traits. You know how to knock over the pain points. You're not doing that just because you're like, woo, I've got time. I enjoyed understanding people. You're not doing that. You're doing that because ultimately that builds your business. These people are building your business. And if you don't care and nurture that relationship and take the time to understand them, I don't understand how you think your business will grow until it's all just AI. And I hear they can learn too. So you just better watch out.